I think the thing I like most about this hobby is how there's so many things that can scratch that itch. Everything from how certain boards are built or look to keycaps, and even something like using new switches can kick off a new build. In this case, we are doing a new build due to a new set of keycaps that I just got. Now these are the Sasuke X TL keycaps from Team Liquid. Now I've been a Team Liquid fan for the longest time, as they are my favorite esports org, and they tend to do a lot of collaborations with both anime and comics like Marvel. And so when I saw these, I knew I had to get them. And I bought these a long time ago, but just never really had a chance to kind of put these in a board. Now I received these about a month ago, and I decided now is the time for me to start a new keyboard build. So the keyboard that we're going to be using today is the Tofu65 2.0. I chose this keyboard for a few reasons. It's one of the best entry-level, fully customizable keyboards out there with multiple mounting styles, and it comes in a variety of colors. And the best part is it's in stock right now from kbdfans.com. The Tofu is a pretty basic keyboard design, but I find the simplicity adds to its appeal. It's fully aluminum and comes with both internal and external weights in brass. I chose to purchase both the FR plate as well as the polycarbonate plate to just kind of give myself some different sound options. Sound options are generally always good. And I did want to go with something a little bit more on the deeper tone-wise this time. Now, the only real downside to this keyboard is that it's wired only. So if you are looking for a wireless option or something with that capability, this keyboard unfortunately just doesn't offer that. Now, you do have to purchase the foam kit separately, which is about $20. And to be perfectly honest, after all said and done, while the keyboard does start at $130, that's really just for the case itself. That means no PCB, no plate, no nothing. So with everything, you're probably going to be looking at about $200, which I'd say is pretty typical for entry-level keyboard DIY kits nowadays. Now, the thing that really drew me into this keyboard and why I chose it is the mounting styles. So not only do you get the gasket socks, which are pretty typical, they slide into the plate usually, and then there are certain mounting points where it just kind of like sits there. They have this new mounting system called the silicone bowl. Now this is a really interesting mounting style, as it uses these bowl-shaped silicone cups essentially that turned upside down. They act as a weird spring, and they're placed all throughout the sides of the case to essentially act as a very interesting gasket mount. Now there are 3 different stiffness levels, starting with the green being the least stiff and more bouncy, and going all the way to the red, which is the most stiff and least bouncy. Now the idea behind these, I think in general, is that they're going to be more bouncy regardless than your typical gasket sock mount, but I think you can still kind of vary the level of bounce in between them. Now, starting with the build on this keyboard, I decided to kind of take a look at the stabilizers. Now, I didn't really like how the stabilizers looked from this keyboard, so I decided to go with something more tried and true, and those were the Durock V2 stabilizers. I've had good luck with them in the past, and I think they're pretty solid right out of the box. No major tuning required, no major mods required, and you just need some good lube and to just do everything correctly, and they're going to sound great. I did also decide that I want to go full foam on this kit, so I added the PCB foam, and once I did that, I added the staplers on top of that, and then the plate foam, and then I also added the case foam into the case. After that, I decided to go with the FR4 plate because I wanted something a little bit more on the deeper side, kind of more of that thock rather than that clack. And of course, I decided to go with the silicone bowl mounting option. I went with the greens because I wanted something really, really bouncy. And to pair with that, I decided to go with the Texi Blue Balloon switches. Now, these are a linear long pole switch with a double action spring. They're pretty light at under a 50 gram actuation force point. So I thought these would feel really good with the kind of the bounciness that the silicone bowl adds, and as well as, you know, just with the overall feel with the double action spring. So once we did that, it was pretty easy to just screw everything back in, and then we decided to add the keycaps. Now I really like these keycaps. I think they look really cool, and it's definitely something that I'm just really excited about. I've wanted to use these keycaps for a while, and yeah, this board just looks really cool. Now after all that said and done, yeah, let's just take a look and see what this sounds like. So yeah, this sounds really good. I think the board sounds really good. There's like definitely some thock there, but there's a little bit of clack, and that's kind of like where I like my boards. I don't like them to be fully thock or fully clack. I've always liked them kind of in between. That's kind of where I've settled lately in my keyboard adventures. And yeah, I love the way this keyboard turned out. I really like how easy it was to build the Tofu. I think it's a fantastic entry-level board. For those of you guys who might be interested, it's definitely that next step up after modifying, let's say, something like a Keychron or a Newfie. And it really kind of gets you into starting to kind of put everything together from scratch, which I think is the best part about building keyboards. DIY kits at this level, I feel like is just so much fun, and it's definitely why I love this hobby so much. Now before I forget, this board does come with LEDs, which is cool. They are all south facing, which is really nice, and they come in a variety of colors like I mentioned earlier. So you know, they do kind of sell out pretty quickly, but the nice thing about KBD fans is they do put these back in stock relatively quickly, and so it's definitely worth it to check it out. Again, this is a fantastic entry-level board. The real downside really is just that it's wired only. There is no wireless option, but to be perfectly honest, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I will see you all on the next one.